oral contraceptive pill and update. The topic sounds quite boring, but it's a very, very important topic. And you yourself will realize as I take you along with me to know some very hard facts about the contraceptive trends in India. India alone accounts for 20% of world's population. No doubt the time bomb is kicking. Dr. Meenakshi, am I visible and audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are.
Okay, thank you. 48% of all pregnancies are unplanned and 35% of them get aborted. That's an induced abortion because it's unplanned. That means 1 out of 3 women have a history of unplanned pregnancy or an induced abortion. If unmet need for contraception was met, we can avoid a good percentage of unwanted pregnancies, almost as high as 52 million unwanted pregnancies, and pregnancy-related maternal deaths almost to a tune of 50%, which is a very, very big number, and hence the importance of the topic and the importance of contraception. So we need to spend more time with the patients counseling for contraception, which we take it very easy. And you will also be surprised to know that 75% of newly wed couples do not use any form of contraception, whether male partner or the female partner. And in general, the contraceptive prevalence, including all kinds of methods, is only 48%. And from this 48%, the majority is because of female sterilization. That means 76% is because of sterilization. Now coming to the OCP pills, the take of OC pills is as low as 8% and the discontinuation rate of OC pills is maximum and almost to a tune of 42%, and hence it's the need of the hour to discuss this topic in detail और फिर ऐसी नौबत नहीं आनी चाहिए. OC pills are widely accepted and most effective reversible method of fertility control. India was the first country in the world to introduce COCs in the National Program of Family Planning. The idea of using hormones as a contraception started with American scientist Dr. Russell Marker, who discovered that some plants contained hormone-like substances, and he began purifying progesterone from Mexican yams. Progesterone is broken down in the digestive tract and is not absorbed. And it's only 1950s that synthetic version of the hormone were developed known as progestogens. And these are the pioneers in the field of contraception. A word about mechanism of action of hormonal contraception. All of you know about it, but I'll just briefly revise it with you all. The estrogen suppresses release of FSH from anterior pituitary and thus inhibits the development of a dominant follicle. It stabilizes the endometrium and hence minimizes breakthrough bleeding, and it enhances the progestogen effect. Whereas progesterone suppresses release of LH from anterior pituitary and inhibits ovulation, it thickens cervical mucus, and it makes the endometrium unreceptive for implantation. As per Spiroff, the estrogen content of the pill is of major clinical importance. Thrombosis is one of the most serious side effects of the pill and is dose related. Therefore, the dose of the estrogen is a very critical issue in selecting an oral contraceptive, and one has to be very wise which contraceptive to be chosen. Doses of estrogen has been steadily reduced from the very beginning, starting from 100 micrograms of ethinyl estradiol to the COCs of today, which contain even less than 30 micrograms of ethinyl estradiol. We have COCs with 20 micrograms of ethinyl estradiol, which provide a very stable and a predictable cycle control, and at the same time take care of the adverse events like nausea, breast tenderness, and bloating. Women using 20 microgram preparation as compared to those using 35 micrograms definitely experience less frequent side effects, and thus this study suggests that 20 microgram dose is a logical and a very beneficial dose, and this reduces all the side effects related to estrogen almost to the tune of 50% because all the side effects are related to the dose. We also know the cerebral thromboembolic risk with oral contraceptive is again to the estrogen content, and if you can see with 50 microgram the risk is as high, and as we start reducing the dose, the risk of cerebrovascular accident reduces by 1/3. We are all familiar with the progestogens, the older one, the new one, the first generation, second generation. I need not go into the details. What will be discussing today is mainly for the focus is on the progestogens and that also desogestrel. The evolution of the progestogen has been focused to reduce the androgenic side effects. These new progestins, because of their reduced androgenicity, do not adversely affect the cholesterol lipoprotein profile, and that is what we are going to discuss today. That is the advantage. They are very lipid and liver friendly. Indeed, the estrogen-progesterone balance of combined oral contraceptives containing one of the new progestins even promote favorable lipid changes. They causes increase and which is much more favorable. Another important thing to know is the ability of the progestin to bind to the progesterone receptors varies with different progesterones, and this binding will influence the biological effect. They can bind with the progesterone receptor, the androgen receptor, estrogen, glucocorticoid, and the mineralocorticoid. And if you see from the chart, 3-keto-desogestrel has very good binding capacity with progesterone, almost same as with the second generation progesterones, and even the fourth generation progesterones do not have that good progesterogenic activity, whereas the mineralocorticoid activity is almost zero and even the androgen activity is very less. So this compound is highly specific for progesterone receptors and it has a very low affinity for other steroid receptors, and this is what is the desired attribute. This slide also confirms that the third generation progestrogens are more selective than the older types. We have norethindrone, levonorgestrel, desogestrel, and in this group, this 3-keto-desogestrel is the active form of the desogestrel, and you can see the bar chart so tall. This means it is the most selective progestrogens, and by selectivity, what I mean, it is just a ratio of the desired to the undesired properties. What is desirable? The progesterogenic activity, and the undesired is the androgenic activity. So desogestrel stands out due to its remarkable characteristics because of two reasons. First, deletion of the oxygen molecule which happens in the liver, and this converts desogestrel to the active form, that is 3-keto-desogestrel. And second is the addition of the methylene group at position 11, which will remove the androgenic side effects, and hence desogestrel is an amazing molecule. Now let's go through the evidences and the meta-analysis in favor of desogestrel. A multicentral trial was conducted in 267 centers in Italy to evaluate the efficacy, acceptability, and safety of this contraceptive pill containing 30 micrograms of ethinyl estradiol and 150 micrograms of desogestrel. Almost 13,000 women were followed up for 75 cycles, and the outcome was seen in response to reliability, cycle control, and the side effects. And what did they observe? They observed that out of 75 cycles, only 3 pregnancies occurred. That means the Pearl index for the method is 0.0 and for the patient it's 0.04. And as you see, the side effects in the form of nausea, headache, breast tenderness, as the cycles move from the first cycle, third cycle, and to the sixth cycle, the side effect starts decreasing and the body starts accepting. Similarly, for the cycle control, the incidence of breakthrough bleeding, you can very clearly see is much more in the first 3 months. From 3rd month onwards, it starts becoming stable, and from 6 months, the cycle control is very good. So these studies concluded that the monophasic oral contraceptive containing 150 micrograms of desogestrel and 30 micrograms of ethinyl estradiol is very reliable. The cycle control is good and the general incidence of minor complaints is lower as compared to other. ये क्या हो गया अभी? इसमें क्या आ गया? ये क्या लिखा हुआ है? नहीं, कुछ लिखा हुआ आ रहा है, 1 मिनट.
Ma'am, someone might have sent an annotation request. Please cancel that.
इसको क्रॉस कर दूं?
Yes, ma'am. Please cancel that.
ओके. थैंक यू. अब मेरी स्लाइड नहीं मूव कर रही है अब.
Ma'am, you need to click on the slide one more time and then.
Okay. हाँ जी. And now this is another 12 years of clinical experience with oral contraceptive ethinyl estradiol and desogestrel using 14 clinical trials over 44,000 women in more than 190,000 cycles, and the results were no pregnancies due to method failure, incidence of breakthrough bleeding is very less, incidence of subjective side effects were low, 90% of the subjects maintained regular cycles, and in all these 14 trials, the COCs was well accepted and the rate of discontinuation was similar to those in the other COC trials. And this is the main study. This is a 5-year experience and open study to see its effect on the lipid profile. In this, they divided the patients into 3 groups. To one group, they have given desogestrel with ethinyl estradiol. To the second group, they had given ethinyl estradiol along with levonorgestrel. And in the third group, they had given norethindrone with ethinyl estradiol, and they have seen the effects in terms of efficacy, cycle control, blood pressure, and lipid profile. And they observed that the breakthrough bleeding is almost negligible, not significant. There was no change in the blood pressure in all the 3 groups. As far as the weight gain was considered, it was least in the desogestrel group and maximum in the levonorgestrel group, but it was not clinically significant. Now, the most important thing is on the lipid profile, there was no alteration of the total lipids and total cholesterol. In all the 3 groups, the LDL level did not show significant changes. What changed was the HDL, which is a protective lipoprotein. And in fact, at 40 weeks of use, subjects from group 2, that means with the levonorgestrel group, were asked to stop taking the LNG pills because of a significant fall in HDL levels. And उसमें से 53 patients requested to be incorporated in group 1 and 49 stopped completely because of a significant thing. They could not continue with the same drug because of the risks. So after discontinuation, the HDL levels started improving, and subjects who requested to be incorporated in group 1, they showed a better rise in HDL level. That means with desogestrel, they showed even a higher range than normal. You can see similarly from the bar chart also. So this study, this 5-year open study concluded that there is 100% contraceptive efficacy with all the 3 pills. There is no impact on blood pressure with all the 3 pills. There is minimal weight change in users after 5 years of continuous use, but increase in the HDL component with desogestrel and ethinyl estradiol is consistent with consumption. Anabolic effects were observed with the LNG and the Netto. So this drug is 100% contraceptive efficacy with favorable lipid profile. Even the systematic review of Cochrane endorses the same thing as far as the effectiveness, the discontinuation, the cycle control, and the side effects are concerned. And in this Cochrane review, 30 trials were taken where almost 14,000 participants were included. And they compared COCs containing ethinyl estradiol with different progestrogens. They compared it with levonorgestrel, where they concluded that the pregnancy rate is similar. The discontinuation due to side effects were more in the LNG group. And they also compared desogestrel with rosperidone, where the pregnancy and the discontinuation rates were similar, but a trend towards more nausea, breast tenderness, vomiting was seen more with the drosyperidone group as compared to the desogestrel. So the Cochrane summary is pregnancy rates overall are comparable. Women using monophasic COCs containing 3rd generation progestrogens are less likely to discontinue than the 2nd generation group. Women in the 3rd generation group experience less intermenstrual bleeding than the 2nd generation group. That means the cycle control is good. Compared to the desogestrel, women in the drospirenone group are more likely to complain of breast tenderness and nausea. So to conclude, COCs containing minimal side effects, 100% contraceptive efficacy, and a favorable profile is the desogestrel and ethinyl estradiol combination because of its advantage on the HDL component. And before I stop sharing, I would just like to share that if we transform our population into a trained, focused, balanced, and inspired population, India will be a miracle. Thank you all very much for being patient with me.
A wonderful presentation, Dr. Jyoti, as always.
Thank you, Dr. Deepti.
And a very nice comparison between the different estrogens and progesterones. And choice for the doctor. May we have Dr. Shada ma'am's comment on this, ma'am?
इसको कहाँ से stop करना?
Stop there, Dr. Jyoti. Stop there. Yes.
Okay.
Ji.
Can't we have everybody seen together? How do I do it?
Ma'am, actually everyone has, the videos have been stopped, that is why.
Okay, that's
so till
right.
you do
Okay.
it, yeah, till it,
Different methods occupies 75 to 80% place of the total contraceptive usage. And we find still the things are same. Oral contraceptive usage is, pill usage is only 8%. And that also discontinuation rate is 50, solid 50%. As you move to the West, you find 70% or 75% of their population are using oral contraceptive pill. The latest data which Dr. Jyoti showed was this, that even people who are having sex not within the marriage, outside, nearly 70% are not using any contraceptive. When we say that double contraceptive must be used, because that person has to have prevented from sexually transmitted diseases, as well as have the effective contraception to prevent pregnancy. And I think nothing is better than using oral contraceptive pill. If the Western world is taking, all about it, then why are we are hesitant? This I feel is mainly because our physician friends blame it for everything. If their hypertension is not getting controlled, they blame it to the OCP. If their diabetes is not controlled, they blame it to the OCP. Anything which is not controlled. But the fact which has been brought out by Dr. Jyoti very, very clearly. Is the monophasic pill. And these brands are very good. She said about the fourth generation drospirenone, it has not proved to be that advanced. But one thing is very clear, whatever the lipid profile problems are there, they are there with levonorgestrel. The moment you stop, you find the lipid profile gets back to normal. They're in this. Like we went representative features away with of estrogen as well as progesterone. One thing is clear: if you want effectiveness of an oral contraceptive pill, it is estrogen which decided. And now we know that in case if we just want it for oral contraceptive purposes, then I'm fond of this particular brand for not only from now, for a very long time. That is Femilon. And the Novolon is in case if you want to be therapeutic, then you should use 30 milligram dose, which is Novolon. So I think, this is what things are. But I think, it all depends upon counseling by we doctors. And we should be very energetic as far as this part is concerned. I definitely summarize you again that 20% is the unmet needs of contraception. And the figures have been quoted that in case if his unmet needs are met, 5 crores of pregnancies can be prevented. 5 crores. And 50% of maternal mortality will come down. So I think, we should ask our people that they need to use an effective contraceptive and not bother about the pills which they take for seeking abortion. So with these comments, I will ask other experts to make their comment and share their personal views also about this contraceptive.
Dr. Jyoti, as always, extremely great presentation. Your graphs and your study was so elaborate and so explanatory. The only one thing I would like to know that as we go from one generation to the other of the progesterones, it is known that the DVT risk tends to increase from the first to the fourth generation. So when we come to the third generation, that's gestodine, or if you're using desogestrel, that it is there. So what is the risk of DVT as compared to drospirenone or LNG?
It's less with desogestrel as compared with drospirenone and LNG. With LNG and drospirenone, it is more.
Yeah, in fact, there was a time when Yaz and Yasmin were banned in the US. It was because of the incidence of the thromboembolic disorders, which had increased. So actually, I think this has a much better profile as far as thromboembolic accidents are concerned.
Yeah.
So definitely better.
Drospirenol
So as compared
is a
to,
fourth generation, but it causes more thromboembolic phenomenon
Yes.
as compared to desogestrel.
Although it's not been seen with Asians as much, but yes, the final risk of thromboembolic accidents are much more with drospirenol than with desogestrel.
yeah.
See what when this drospirenol pills were launched in the country, people like me definitely pointed out this particular thing. But I've intentionally we do not point out drospirenol causing increase in DVT, because this is what the medical representative used to come and say that, madam, don't make that particular comment. You can do anything, but no, once it is labeled with DVT, then people are not going to use. And the fact remains that there is increased chances of DVT.
Yeah. And it is considered that the disease is at third degree. They have less than drospirenol, but the rate is about 1.5 to 2 times higher as compared to LNG. So, but when we take in absolute numbers, if you're really talking in absolute numbers, I think the risk is too small even to be able to talk about it. So we should be aware and choose our patients very carefully. That means important slides when we are giving our oral contraceptives to rule out all the factors where they're not going to be a very good candidate for it, but not to highlight the risk and choose it more widely depending on the patient's situation.
Also,
But Dr. Jyoti, ये जो हमारा माला N और मालावधी ग्रुप है, उसमें बात बिल्कुल क्लियर है. Levonorgestrel pill is not good.
Yeah,
Not
that
good
is
for
not
lipid
good.
profile, not for blood pressure.
हमारे फेमिलॉन और नोवलॉन बेस्ट है. इसमें इतने लिस्टोडायोल का डिफरेंस है. फेमिलॉन हैज 20 whereas नोवलॉन हैज 30. तो जो फर्स्ट टाइम स्टार्टर्स हैं, जो एकदम यंग लोग हैं, उनके लिए फेमिलॉन अच्छा है. बट जिनको साइकिल कंट्रोल भी चाहिए अलॉन्ग विद कॉन्ट्रासेप्शन, उनको हम नोवलॉन दे सकते हैं. अदरवाइज फेमिलॉन इज गुड इनफ एंड कैन बी सेफली कंटिन्यू टिल एज 50.
She brought out a beautiful study to show that 12 years very safely it can be used. Dr. Mani, you want to speak something?
I've just reached home, so I was outside. I just would like to add one wonderful presentations, both of them. And being in a government sector, naturally, we don't have much experience with Femilon and other drugs, but we do prescribe. And we have seen whatever contraceptive usage, unless we counsel the patient properly, and we do the check our MEAC criteria and see which drug to give to which woman. We select the patient very well. Then, as rightly pointed out by Dr. Jyoti Bhaskar also, incidence of VT is very less, very minimal, and we will go in a long way, and we will not have a dropout rate in such patients. Dropout rate would be definitely less, and then this will go a long way in controlling and increasing the usage of our contraceptives. And what I feel boils down to the knowing our product very well ourselves, and then picking up the right patient and then right counseling for continuation. That I would like to add.
And if I
think
Dr. Umar is also here. Dr. Umar?
I would like to make a point that we must remember that there is risk of DVT in pregnancy also. So you must remember that when you're avoiding pregnancies, probably the risk of DVT with a contraceptive is less than we would have in a unwanted pregnancy.
True.
Dr. Umar? Madam is here.
Yes, Dr. Umarai was there.
In the meantime, if
Anybody wants to make any comment?
Ma'am, one comment, if I'm allowed to just make one comment, and that is about that we do not need to stop the medications in between, because people have this tendency, you've given OCPs for 2 years, they say take a break, then restart the OCPs. Actually, as it is therapeutic, we do not need to take a break, we can continuously keep giving them. And the stopping limit, as Dr. Mani or Dr. Meenakshi said, is 50 years. If a patient is not obese, she's not a non-smoker, she has no high risk factors, we can safely continue evidence-based up to 50 years of age.
Also, that the highest risk of DVT is when you stop and restart. So actually, in the first 3 months of taking the pill, So if you don't give this break in between, you are putting your patient at much less risk of DVT. That's what evidence also says. So no breaks. I agree with Dr. Jyoti.
Uma wants to make any comment? Dr. Uma? Anybody wants to make any comment? Dr. Deepti, you want to make a comment? Dr. Meenakshi?
My comment was, long time back we had a CME on contraceptives, and there the point raised was that the same thing with Dr. Jyoti Bhaskar said, that should we continue giving OC pills when we are talking about contraception, vis-a-vis continuing OC pills when we are talking about girls with PCOD. So is there a difference? Can we do the same? Dr. Jyoti, both Dr. Jyoti Agarwal, Dr. Jyoti Bhaskar. So for contraception, they can be given continuously for 50 years till she is 50.
It's just the use that is different. That is contraception, that's a PCOD, but the pill is the same. So how does
Yes.
that make a particular difference?
And
So
I think as far as the people who have got acne, the people who have got hirsutism, people like me always tell them and tell their mothers also that if she keeps on using this particular OC pill, then she will find that all these problems of acne and hirsutism will not be there, and over a period of time you will not have to spend anything on laser and things like that. And they understand, they listen. And this inhibitions that they will gain weight or things like that gets sorted out in 3 to 4 months time itself, and they know that this is not the contributing factor. And again, the pill selection is very, very important. Even for PCOD, I said you can use any pill, but you should not use levonorgestrel pill, because again it is going to further harm the profile of lipid profile or blood pressure profile and things like that. All said and that, any OCP you may take, if she is in hypertensive and she is taking a combination of estrogen and progesterone, blood pressure तो बढ़ेगा ही, मान के चलिए.
हमारी PCM की बुक, if you remember, पार्क, उसमें लिखा हुआ है these pills for the PCOD patients are the beauty pills.
What about Dr. Jyoti, the chronic suppression of FSH-LH and then resulting into post-pill amenorrhea, and then there is difficult. What about this question? Chronic suppression of gonadotrophins.
पोस्ट amenorrhia तो डॉक्टर साहब आज से 50 साल पहले होता था, अब नहीं होता पोस्ट amenorrhea, because that was the dose of the estrogen. अब नहीं होता पोस्ट amenorrhea. आप बताओ कितने लोगों को पोस्ट amenorrhea आपने सुना है? पिछले 10 सालों में, 15 सालों में सुना ही नहीं आपने.
So there is no
now. Nobody is ready to refute me when I say that post-pill amenorrhea as an entity is not seen anymore now.
Dr. Jyoti, can you read the questions in the chat box?
You want to say something? Meenakshi Ahuja, you want to say something?
No, ma'am, I agree with you. Absolutely. Now we see much less of post-pill amenorrhea, and that should not be what should be stopping us from using OCPs. So I think it was very interesting presentation also, because I think we need to keep on revising the differences between the drospirenone and the desodestrel pills. And I think Dr. Jyoti Agarwal did a fabulous job.
Thank you, Dr. Meenakshi. Thank you so much.
Any comment related to contraception in general?
Ma'am, I would like to make a comment. Am I audible?
Please, Meenakshi.
Ma'am, I have seen the patients, some younger women who are having a lot of traveling abroad. These women, sometimes they don't want a monthly menstruation. And I have used Femilon in these women for 3 consecutive pills package, basically 3 pills back to back, and then 1 week break for withdrawal. And they are very, very comfortable to having periods once in 3 months, just like we used to have in seasonal and liberal. So this schedule can also be used in a woman who does not want to have regular menstrual periods.
Doctor, these kind of pills are definitely available outside, but Indian people are obsessed having a monthly periods, and that is the problem with them. So I think they will definitely launch it. It is available outside. It can come here.
Ma'am,
But the question is sometimes
I just
sometimes
use the
if it
Familon
is available, it is not used, then they have a problem.
I know, ma'am, but the Familon back-to-back 3 packets can be given very easily. And I find it very useful in young women who are traveling so much and they want to avoid monthly periods. In those patients, I have given and they're very comfortable with it.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah.
In fact, this is a forum where many people are listening. I am now supposed to say what is the choice brand for yourself. As far as I'm concerned, from the last 3 decades, the Novolon and Familon are my choice contraceptives. I like them.
Mine too, ma'am.
If there are no more questions, then I think we meet again on the 5th. 5th again, there will be very interesting thing, because the new guidelines of the labor will be discussed, and because they are so new and they're so the paradigm shift is there from our thinking. So I think जब तक इस साल में हम 20 बार उसको सुनने नहीं लेंगे, हम अपनी practice में नहीं लाएंगे. So I feel we already had Dr. Meenakshi did a great job on that day. We will hear again from Dr. Deepti. Divya Pandey from Safdarjung. This is on the 5th, and we all want you to join on that particular day. And that day there will be a small talk on emergency contraception, the part which is remaining now. So in the last 1 month, we have covered on the HIV group, we have covered the barrier contraceptives, and this time we have covered hormonal contraceptive, and only one is remaining, and that is emergency contraception. So that we will have a small talk when people are discussing on the labor new guidelines. So everybody join for a new labor guidelines on the 5th.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Dr. Jyoti.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Meenakshi, and thank you all the expert commentators. Thank you for joining us and making this a very successful webinar. Thank you. Take.
Thank you all the experts and the viewers.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Dr. Jyoti, your presentation was very good.
Thank you so much. ये मैं कैसे बंद करूँ? ये वेबएक्स ना भैया बहुत